Yeah, stay wavy, we ride on the floor. Came from the top, now we headline the show. Lights flash, pyro, blow the crowd go crazy. Champion energy, you know we stay wavy TV, making history.
Can't believe I'm saying this, man, but last night's episode of Monday Night Raw was actually pretty good, bruh. Like, I actually was entertained for, I want to say, 70% of Raw last night, bro. And they did a great job of bouncing back from the Elimination Chamber, which I think was a complete disaster. But I was impressed with last night's show, man. We actually had some good stories. We had some good promos. We had some good backstage segments. And most importantly, we actually had some really good matches last night, man. So I know we bashed Triple H a lot on this channel, y'all. But your boy Wavy got to get props when it's due, man. Shout out to Triple H for finally putting together a good episode of Monday Night Raw. So let's get into it. So we kicked off Monday Night Raw with what's left of the Vision. We had Paul Gaiman and Logan Shaggy from Scooby-Doo Paul. And, you know, they basically came out and voiced their anger of Seth freaking Rollins attacking Logan at the Elimination Chamber, causing him to get eliminated. Then we had 10 different masked men in all black show up, causing Logan and Austin Theory to go after them, leaving Paul Penguin in the ring by himself. So then one masked man distracted Paul from the front of the ring. He was acting like he was about to get into the ring. And then Seth Rollins went into the ring from the back and attacked Paul Gaiman with a steel chair, no diddy, okay? He attacked him from the back, no diddy. So then Seth curb stomped him and the crowd went wild, man. He busted open Paul Gaiman's nose and caused him to have to go to the ambulance. So next backstage, Paul Gaiman gets put into the ambulance. Jimmy Uso attacks Austin Theory, and we find out that LA Knight is the one that was driving the ambulance that Paul Gaiman is in. Now, I gotta bring this up, y'all. So when they went backstage, Logan Paul was backstage as well, but he just disappeared. I mean, we don't know if he ran after somebody. We don't know what happened, but he was backstage with Austin Theory helping Paul Gaiman get into the ambulance. And then Logan Paul just disappeared, bro. So other than that, this was a pretty good way to open up the show. It was very entertaining. And it kind of reminded me of the old days of wrestling where they had promos like this to make wrestling look more real than what it really is. You know what I'm saying? So next, we got our first match of the night. We got Gunther versus Dragon Bruce Lee. And as Gunther was walking to the ring during his entrance, Dragon Lee just attacked Gunther and he was going crazy, bruh, okay? Gunther tossed Dragon Lee across the barricade like a little baby. Michael Cole said that Gunther is the Terminator, and I kind of agree with that, man. He is kind of like a Temu Walmart brand Terminator. Plus, Gunther and Arnold Schwarzenegger, they do got similar accents, so shout out to Michael Cole for that comparison. I see where he's coming from with that. So Gunther powerbombed Dragon Lee like 6 times in a row. And I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, this was brutal to watch, bro. For Gunther to be powerbombing Dragon Lee on his back at full strength like that, bro. Like, you gotta be careful, bro. You don't want to hurt the little guy, man. If he was doing this to somebody like Obafemi, he would be fine. But you can't be powerbombing Dragon Lee, who's barely 5 feet tall. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, he might actually injure this dude. So inside, he power bombed them inside the ring, outside the ring, on the announce table, and then finally Dragon Lee was able to reverse one of them outside of the ring. Dragon Lee suicide dived Gunther onto the announce table. Gunther actually took Dragon Lee's mask off in this match, y'all, and he won the match by submission. So they did a great job at making Dragon Lee actually look like he had a chance to win this match, and I appreciate that. I hate watching a Gunther match where Gunther just 100% squashes somebody. You know, this match actually made it look like Dragon Lee had a chance of winning. So I think this was a great match to open up the show. Let's get it. So next, and this is what pissed me off, y'all. So next, we got a Bad Bunny Super Bowl performance from the Kabuki Warriors, okay? Backstage, they're cutting a promo. Nobody knows what the hell they're saying because they're not speaking English, okay? AJ Bruce Lee shows up and asks Kyrie saying, "Is she okay?" Asuka screams, "Kyrie!" And that's it. You know, another dumb, pointless segment from the Kabuki Warriors. We started Raw on such a good note, and they just had to ruin the whole vibe of the show with a garbage promo from the Kabuki Warriors. So, Next, the new ladies Intercontinental Champion AJ Jet Li comes out to the ring and she makes a statement. Let's light it up. Let's light it up. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. AJ Lee got so much aura when she be skipping to the ring, bro. Like, I actually used to have a crush on AJ Lee when I was in high school. My girlfriend at the time even looked like AJ Lee. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to AJ Lee, man. I'm glad to see her back. I don't think she should have beat Becky because I think AJ, because she's been retired for so long, I do think she's very green in the ring. But shout out to AJ Lee, man. I'm glad that she's back with the WWE. So AJ felt like I felt because AJ started off this, promo by saying that she wasn't sure she still had it before her match with Becky Lynch. She goes on to say that she's not waiting for WrestleMania to defend her title, and she tells the ladies backstage to come at her. And guess what, guys? Nobody came out. So this segment was a complete waste of time. They could have at least had somebody like Jordan Grace or Raquel Rodriguez come out to face off with her. You know what I'm saying? So backstage, Chad Gable tells Penta that if he beats Dirty Dom for his title, he wants to be the first person to get a title shot. Next, we got a dumbass match with El Grande Americano versus Rayo Americano. Guys, how long is the WWE going to keep going with this played out gimmick? I do like Chad Gable, the OG El Grande Americano, but there's no point in having 3 or 4 more of them, bruh. It's just stupid. So long story short, Chad Gable won this match. Guys, the WWE is so worried about the WrestleMania 42 tickets and WrestleMania potentially flopping this year that on the first and second day of WrestleMania, the first hour is going to be for free on ESPN2. So to everybody watching this video, make sure y'all watch WrestleMania on ESPN2. The first hour will be for free because they're so worried about WrestleMania flopping that they're showing the whole first hour for the free ski, man. So shout out to Triple H for that. You sucking at your job has allowed us to be able to actually watch an hour of WrestleMania for free this year. We respect that, bro. We appreciate that. We love you. Shout out to Triple K, man. So, backstage, Liv Morgan tells Raquel Rodriguez to challenge AJ Lee for the IC title at WrestleMania 42. This is what I'm talking about. If Liv Morgan is telling Raquel that she should challenge AJ Lee for her title at WrestleMania, why didn't Raquel come out and confront AJ Lee? She called everybody out backstage. Raquel could have went into the ring, said a few words, they could have faced off, and that actually would have made us, interested in this match. But instead, you just had AJ Lee come out and skip to the ring. Let's light it up. And she just said a bunch of blah blah. So Finn Balor makes it clear that he's not helping Dirty Dom in his match with Penta tonight for the IC title, but he will be out there to support him and watch the match. Next. Now this is where shit got real, y'all. Next, Rusev calls out Obafemi and says he's tired about hearing about him. Rusev says he wants to squabble right now and that he's the Lion of Bulgaria. Obafemi comes out, but he wasn't wearing ring attire. So guess what, guys? We had another segment for the 3rd week in a row between Obafemi and Rusev, and they're not even fighting. Which means that this match is most likely going to take place at WrestleMania or something like that. So Oba says that you spent all that time talking, get your ass in the ring and take this ass whooping. Bruh. And I'm gonna put the picture in this video. Obafemi slammed Rusev like he was a baby, y'all. And then he clotheslined him out of the ring. Rusev started screaming and pretty much just left the arena. I'm actually hyped for this match, but they could have done such a better job at making Rusev look better. Because let's be honest, guys, Rusev looks more intimidating than Obafemi. He's stronger and more muscular than Obafemi. Like, think about it, guys. If you was in the street, right, and you seen Obafemi and Rusev with their shirt off, who would you be more intimidated by? I would say Rusev. Rusev is jacked, bro. Like they could have done such a better job at making Rusev look like he's actually gonna beat Obafemi. I know Rusev is a jobber now, but we gotta put some respect on Rusev's name, bro. Rusev back in the day, he was one of the top mid-carders. So he only got a kick off on Obafemi. That was about it. But like I said, I am looking forward to this match. and they will be wrestling each other next week on Monday Night Raw. So next we got a match between Jimmy Uso and Austin Justin Timberlake Theory. Jim is basically getting revenge for Jey Uso, who was assaulted by the Vision, costing him his spot in the Elimination Chamber. Logan Paul interferes and they start jumping Jimmy Uso. And then guess what, guys? Jey Uso, who was reportedly injured and had to go to an ambulance, Jey Uso came out with 2 crutches, right? Then goes into the ring and him and Jim start attacking them with crutches. And they ended up hitting their finisher move, the 1D on Austin Theory. And they made it so obvious that Jey Uso was never injured, bruh. He wasn't hobbling, none of that. They made it so obvious that Jey Uso never got injured. They really just didn't want him in the Elimination Chamber because Bronson Reed was supposed to be in the Elimination Chamber. They don't even try to make the WWE look real anymore with Triple H running things, guys. They did such a bad job at doing that last night. So next we finally get to the IC title match between Dirty Dom versus Penta. Penta should win this match because Dom, I mean, guys, he's only defended that title once in the past 5 months. So before the match, we got a very weird promo from Rhea Ripley. She was rubbing EU Sky's face. She was rubbing her neck. And I mean, seriously, guys, they make it seem like these two are dating each other in real life. I know Rhea Ripley has a boyfriend, but Rhea Ripley and EU Sky's relationship is very weird. EU Sky was jumping on Rhea Ripley the same way she jumped on Triple H. And just a very awkward, cringy promo. So, you know, when you think about the fact that Rhea Ripley has never beaten EU Sky, and EU Sky took her title on a regular episode of Monday Night Raw and she never got it back, you know, it's just pretty strange how things are. So Rhea says that she's showing up to SmackDown to confront Jade Cargill. Let's move on, man. We know Rhea Ripley is probably going to beat Jade Cargill at WrestleMania because Rhea Ripley is the female Hulk Hogan, okay? I do believe it was supposed to be Bianca Belair that ends up beating Jade Cargill for that title, but because she's still injured, it will most likely be Rhea Ripley. So, guys, during this match with Dominic Mysterio and Penta, Dominic Mysterio actually kicked out of Penta's finisher move, the Penta Driver. This is insane, bro. This made Penta look so weak. Like, why would you have Dominic Mysterio, who doesn't even look like a wrestler? He looks like a guy that works at GameStop. Why would you have him kick out to the Penta Driver, which I think is one of the best finishing moves in the WWE right now? So, Dirty Dom asks JD McDonald's to get a hammer so he can cheat and win the match. Finn Balor stops him. Penta ends up attacking Finn and JD outside of the ring. Penta is able to avoid the 619 and hits the Mexican Destroyer, and he officially becomes the new Intercontinental Champion. Thank God, man. Congratulations to Penta. I personally think this was long overdue, but hopefully they can really work on helping Penta become a star in the WWE, because I think Penta has the potential to be just as big as Rey Mysterio was in his prime. So Roman Reigns comes out to finish the show, but before Roman gets to talk, Punk rudely interrupts Roman Reigns, and he comes out and Punk's theme song comes on. So Punk comes out and interrupts Roman to talk about Roman Reigns' tweet, because Roman Reigns pretty much called CM Punk washed up for how slow and old that he looked in the match at the Elimination Chamber. So Roman calls Punk sensitive. Punk says it's a good thing he got bags under his eyes because he has to carry Roman Reigns to WrestleMania. I laughed at this because it's true, guys. Let's be honest, man. Roman Reigns barely shows up to do his job, bro. So Roman says that the WWE brought CM Punk back to entertain 30 and 40-year-old virgins. Not to be champion. Roman says that the WWE can't trust Punk because he's a liar. Roman says Punk is bitching and moaning behind the scenes, and he's not CM Punk. He's a punk-ass bitch. Like, yo, this promo was so good, y'all, between Roman and Punk last night that it actually looked real. It looked like they went off the script, similar to how Tiffany Stratton went off the script with Charlotte Flair. So Roman said that he's going to put Punk on a John Cena retirement tour and send him down to NXT. Oh, my God. Punk says that Roman is all alone because the Usos and Paul Heyman are gone and not working with him anymore. That's not true, bro. Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso are still affiliated with Roman Reigns. So that was an L from Punk right there. Punk says that Roman can't get things done by himself. And then Punk says that he's going to bury Roman Reigns at WrestleMania next to his father. Listen, man. This was the best Raw that I've seen in a very long time. We actually got some really good promos last night. We got some decent backstage segments last night. We got some good matches last night. Hopefully they can keep things up leading up to WrestleMania. But let's be honest, guys. The only reason why Raw was so good last night is because of the low ticket sales for WrestleMania 42. I feel like Triple H doesn't have a choice but to do his job better now, bro. Because they know that if it comes out that WrestleMania is not sold out or WrestleMania has the lowest ticket sales in years, then that means Triple H is going to get fired. And I made a video about that. Go on my channel and check it out. Because of WrestleMania's low ticket sales for WrestleMania 42, Triple H's job is on the line, man. We're hearing reports that Vince McMahon is possibly going to be buying the WWE back along with the Saudis next year. So things are looking real shaky for Triple H, man. So Triple H, he doesn't have a choice but to make good episodes of Raw and SmackDown now. So with that being said, it's your boy Wavy, StayWavyTV. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure y'all subscribe. Please hype the video. Please thumbs up the video. And let me know what y'all think about last night's episode of Raw in the comment section. I'm out.